Hi, everyone. Hope everyone had a chance to settle in, get comfy, and get their questions ready. And I hope everyone is doing well tonight. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day, night, afternoon, wherever you are watching with us. My name is Alexa Gabriel, the MCGP social media correspondent, and I welcome you all on our MCGP Primetime Live. And tonight we have a special guest who is our Ms. MS of Canada 2021-2022, and she represented Canada at the Universal Petite Pageant that was held in Cozumel, Mexico last July. And she is no other than Valerie Roy. Hi, Valerie.
Hi, Alexa.
How's it going?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. So before we start for tonight, I would just like to let everyone know that Valerie is looking for approximately 10 girls to mentor for the 25th edition of the Miss Canada Globe National Pageant. And this is super exciting since this is our 25th year in service, being the symbol of true Canadian beauty. And as we are coming to celebrate the silver anniversary, there are a lot of things that are going to be in store for our fellow fans and supporters. And coming to our 25th year makes MCGP the longest running national pageant organization since 2000, which is super cool. And because of how things are going to go differently, our four main categories, which is our Miss Teen Canada Globe, Miss Canada Petite, Miss Canada Globe, and Ms. of Canada, will now be held as separate pageants completely. And you are actually given 24 to 48 hours to send us your details and information in order to be considered to be mentored by Valerie. So, what do you need for your application? You just have to email recruitment@misscanada.tv with your name, your age, height, email, and phone number. And important as well, if you are under 18, please also make sure to include your parents and guardians' phone numbers and email addresses as well. You can, again, send your application to the email, or you can direct message at the Ms. MS of Canada by MCGP on Facebook Messenger, just a direct message. And also, an important little tidbit, in July, MCGP is going to send the regional titles to the delegates for this year. So the sooner the better you guys send in your applications, and it's best to get your regional titles and reign and get exposure before you go to the nationals. So with that all out of the way, Valerie, I'm very excited to do this show with you. It's been a long time since I've seen your pretty face.
Yay! It's been so long, almost 1 year since we've seen each other.
I know, like, it's hard to believe it's already 1 year. Like,
Yes,
this month it's already July.
yes.
So, Valerie, for those who don't know you, kindly please tell us a little bit about yourself.
So hi everyone watching. So people from MCGP and all the fans out there. I'm Valerie Roy. I'm 40 years old and I'm from Quebec. So I'm a mom of two. I have almost 12-year-old daughter and I have an 8-year-old son. And I used to be a paramedic, but now I'm studying to become real estate agent. So I'm back to school. It's been 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So it's really new. I'm new into pageantry. So it's been a new thing to me actually, the first pageant ad I did was the one I got the title in 2021, 22. So it's something really new to me. I chose to apply because I got really, really sick 5 years ago. And I went to a place in my life that I had to leave my old life behind because I went through a lot of bad things. I went through conjugal violence, and I had to start all over again my life with my two kids. So I left and I moved to my parents' place with my two kids. And being sick, I went to Montreal Hospital because they still don't know what I have. So I have a part of my brain that is dead. I have some electricity disability in my brain also. And we're still looking for to know what it is exactly. And even in Montreal, which is the best like neurological hospital in Quebec, they still don't know
Mhm.
what I have. And I got to a point where I almost died in summer 2020.
Mhm.
And I was in a wheelchair. I lost my hair. I could barely walk. And um, it made me realize that I had to change a lot of things in my life because everything was about um, like having a house, having a job, and working, and like what we all care about is what we show to people, like what we possess and what we do for like show to others, like our standing. And
Mhm.
I was like, for once, I should do something for me because I've never done anything for me. And I've changed my priorities, and I was thinking about doing something that would um, make myself proud at first, but also something that would teach my kids a lesson that even though we come from a little city from up north Quebec, and that we went through so much hard stuff, that we can get back on our feet and do some great things. And when I saw um, that specific commercial on Facebook about the MCGP
Mhm.
pageant, I was like, well, why not? And here I am. So it was just a way to get back um, to a new life, but a positive one. So yeah, it was a way to start a new life, but a happy one, positive
Mhm.
one, with my new boyfriend, with my kids, and just get back to the real me. Yes.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm so glad you decided to like take a change and make a change in your life. And I'm honestly so glad that you did and you got to experience such positivity. And I'm also glad that I met you
Oh,
in the
thank you.
process.
Thank you. People don't know, but when we were in Mexico, I considered you as my daughter because you have the age to be my daughter. So,
Yeah.
and people thought you were actually because you were calling me mom, and I was calling you like baby girl.
My baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of look alike ish.
Yes. Yes. Yes, we do. And people out there were thinking we were really like real mother and daughter out there. So that was quite funny.
Yeah, I still call her like my mom. And are you
Yes,
actually like planning to come to the pageant this year?
of course. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, I want to be there. I want to see all the girls again because it's a family. It's a
Same.
family.
Because like I know in the previous years I couldn't go since I was busy, but I want to see if I can make it this year. I
Oh,
really
that
want
would
to
be
make it this
so
year.
fun.
I'm missing man.
I miss all of you.
Yeah. We have to make it happen. We have to make it happen for real.
Yes. Yes.
So Valerie, again, like thank you for talking about your experience and it was just really touching. And I remember you telling a little bits and pieces of your story to me before
Mhm.
when we were in the pageant together. And just hearing that again, it's and hearing how far you've come is really inspiring and motivational.
Thank you.
Actually, there is. I heard that in Quebec there was the fires going on, and how that's like how the fires are spreading around in Canada. It used to be here outside of Grand Prairie, and now it's moving on to Quebec. It lasted there a few days, and how it's spreading, moving, going into a little bit of New York. How is it like over there?
Um, from the past 10 days, it's been really hard because they're real close to my hometown. Like the
Mm-hmm.
closest one is about uh not more than 100 kilometers away from my hometown. So I have family that have been evacuated from their houses, and even my kid's father has been really close to be evacuated because the fire was a few kilometers from his home. So it's really hard in here. The smoke also, like the air quality is really bad. We got to a point last weekend, last Saturday, June 3rd, I think. We had the
Mm-hmm.
worst air quality in the whole Canada, like my hometown. And the fire is not even in my hometown, but we had the worst air quality in the whole Canada. So we had to be confined in our houses and like get all the doors and windows locked down, all the
Mm-hmm.
ACs and everything like shut down. Make sure we do not breathe any air coming from the outside. So it's been really hard. We've been working a lot to help others. Um, so many cities have been evacuated, so people they live in school gymnasiums, they live in arenas,
Mm-hmm.
and they haven't been able to be necessarily in touch with some of their relatives because it's not that really easy.
Mm-hmm.
We have a few native communities also that have been evacuated, and some of them they don't even have water or electricity where they live. So it's been really hard for them. So they've sent school buses just to get people out of their communities.
Mm-hmm.
And with I work with some friends. We are building an animal rescue shelter,
Mm-hmm.
and we send a lot of our people down there to rescue animals also. And we found so many animals that were abandoned there because they had no place to bring them. So we have like over a few hundred animals that were rescued and placed into arenas in cages, and people would cry like I can't, I want to bring like my dog with me, and they were saying like no, you can't, there's no space in the bus for your dogs and for your cats. And so we've been working really hard
Mm-hmm.
to get everyone out of their situation, and we also like turned their world upside down to get like food and to get them some comfort. Like they got some beds and clothes, and we have a lot of people that helped each other to make food for everyone. They made like big reunion for communities to cook,
Mm-hmm.
and we've been able also to get big trucks for animal foods that was given to us from one of Montreal big food company, animal food company, which is called Mondu, and they
Mm-hmm.
gave us over $100,000 worth of cats and dogs food that we received here also. And we are giving that to everyone that has been evacuated because of these fires. And we also ask people that can give, because we know that the government is giving $1,500 to every family that has been kind of kicked out of their hometown or their houses.
Mm-hmm.
But we ask people if they can make a donation that they can give to the Red Cross also, because Red Cross has been there for us. Now the army's here. We have also New Brunswick firefighters, but we also have United States militaries that arrived yesterday, over 100 militaries to help fight all these fires because we have over 100 and something fires in here. So it's really hard.
Has it actually um has the fires and like the situation, has it died down ever since it happened? Like, are things getting better, or is it just kind of
Uh,
steady?
some of the fires have been controlled. They're not extinguished, but they've
Mhm.
been in control. So some people have been able to go back home. So we have a few cities and a
Mhm.
few native communities that have been able to go back home yesterday and today, but some are still unavailable to go back home. The worst case is Le Bel-sur-Quévillon, and
Mhm.
they've been evacuated for over 10 days. And I just heard the news a few hours ago, I would say like 3 hours ago,
Mhm.
that they'll still have to wait over 48 to 72 hours to know if it's going to be safe to go back there because the fire is really close to the city
Mhm.
and it's too dangerous for them to go. So they've been over 10 days out of their hometown and they're living at Sentar, which is an hour away.
Mhm.
So it's really hard for them.
I'm glad you guys are getting the support you need. I'm glad that because honestly, it must be so scary and kind of stressful, especially with the fact that like families can't connect with their relatives. I'm really glad you guys are getting the support you need. Military is getting involved, government's getting involved, and for our French viewers, Valerie, is it all right if you do a translation in French for
Of course.
just what's been going on lately?
Of course. Donc, pour les francophones, en fait, au Québec, moi, je suis en Abitibi, donc au nord du Québec, on a des feux de forêt. On a beaucoup, beaucoup de feux de forêt présentement. Et on a plusieurs villes qui sont évacuées. Donc, les gens habitent dans des gymnases d'école, dans les arénas. Et les gens sont évacués de leur maison depuis plusieurs jours. Il y en a qui sont évacués depuis 10 jours, en fait, déjà. Il y en a qui ont pu retourner à la maison. Mais plusieurs n'ont pas pu encore. La situation est toujours critique dans certains secteurs, surtout si on parle de Lebel-sur-Quévillon. Ça fait déjà plusieurs journées, puis ils ont parlé tantôt aux nouvelles disant qu'il y avait encore 48 à 72 heures minimum avant d'en savoir plus. L'état est toujours critique. On sait que certaines villes comme Normétal, Saint-Lambert, et on a les communautés autochtones aussi, de Lac-Simon, Kitsisaki, qui ont pu rentrer à la maison. Donc ça, c'est une bonne nouvelle pour eux, mais ils ont quand même vécu beaucoup de stress. Ils ont dû évacuer longtemps. On a évacué les animaux. Il y a eu des beaux dons qui ont été faits par Mondou. On a eu une vanne d'une valeur de plus de 100 000 de nourriture qui a été donnée pour tous les animaux, des gens qui ont été évacués. On a eu plusieurs centaines d'animaux qui ont dû être évacués de ces refuges-là. Les communautés se sont mis ensemble, ils ont fait des rassemblements pour la nourriture. Donc, il y a eu des beaux gestes de solidarité à grandeur de l'Abitibi, à grandeur du Québec, ce qui est merveilleux. On a des pompiers du Nouveau-Brunswick, on a des pompiers, des militaires des États-Unis qui sont arrivés hier aussi pour venir porter main forte. Ça avance bien. Les feux la plupart sont contrôlés, ne sont pas tous éteints. Il y avait plus d'une centaine de feux dans la province de Québec en ce moment même. Donc, si vous voulez donner, aider le Québec, la Croix-Rouge prend toujours les dons, c'est toujours bienvenu. C'est très généreux. Si vous faites un don, ne serait-ce qu'un seul dollar, ça peut faire une grosse différence. Donc, si vous voulez supporter les Québécois dans cette dure bataille contre les incendies de forêt, faites un don à la Croix-Rouge. Merci.
Thank you, Valerie.
You're welcome.
And really quick for So in order to support the Quebec and Quebec area when it comes to the fires, we can make donations to the Red Cross. That's a big
Yes.
one. Is there any other way that we can help support?
Um, there's the firefighters. They call SOPFEU.
Hmm.
So it's SOPFEU. I'm pretty sure that they would accept donation to help their volunteers and their firefighters. Um, and for other places, I know that the SPCA, so these are the animal shelters that are taking care of all the animals that people that have been evacuated. They would take also a lot of help. So I know that these three organizations would be really, really grateful for the help that people could give to them.
Thank you so much, Valerie. And I've yeah, what's happening in Canada is really crazy because when it comes to this year, especially last year, I remember just a few fires here and there. Mostly, it's always been mostly BC, but not until July or August. This year, because it felt like summer hit really early in May, like just
Yes.
early May. That's when everything started to happen. And May felt like August, and it still feels like August because with all the heat waves and
Yes.
the fires just coming here and there,
And there's
spreading,
no rain.
smoking. Yeah, there's no rain. Like
There's no
Calgary, we
rain.
just got rain. Did you guys get any rain?
We got a little bit yesterday, but not
Okay.
enough to like not enough um to have a big effect on the fires. It helped,
Mhm.
but it was not enough. We need way more rain than that to
Like,
extinguish all these fires.
yeah, even like 3 days just straight of just rain. Because I mean, you guys need it. The
Yes,
ground needs it. Because
yes.
it's just like,
Everything is just so dry here.
yeah.
So like most of the fires we have right now have been started by lightnings. Some
Oh.
have been lightened by human, but most of them, like the first like 30 something fires were because of humans, but
Hmm.
like there are over 100 ones that have been lightened by lightnings
Oh, I didn't know that.
because it was so dry. So the
Mhm.
lightnings, they started over 100 fires around the Quebec province.
Oh, okay. And isn't did Quebec like ban use of barbecues throughout the whole summer because it was dry? Because that's what they did for Alberta.
They ban like barbecues.
Yeah, I've heard my mom actually, she said that um like in Alberta, they you cannot barbecue outside because the gas and like how like it's super hot out. Like there can be some gasoline exchange, and then
Mhm.
I guess that's how the fires start. And actually, when I did went to Grand Prairie, it was also really dry, and there was just like something crazy. My uncle said that if you want to really barbecue that badly, you have to have a legal permit.
Wow.
Yeah, so Calgary is just in flames, and I really hope that like we get a lot of rain. At this point, we need like two, even 1 week, even just a week straight worth of rain just spread out everywhere in Canada because honestly, we need it.
Yes.
We
Here
need it.
they've banned like all access to forest.
Oh.
So no one can go in the forest, in the bush or whatever.
Mhm,
This started opening some regions today,
mhm,
but it was completely banned. So you could not like go even have like a walk
mhm,
in the forest. It was prohibited. So they've banned fireworks. They've banned all like if you want to do like marshmallows on the fire at night, like everything's
mhm.
prohibited. Um, they didn't like really prohibit barbecues, but everything that has relation with fire, um, it's been prohibited. And even ATVs, you cannot use any ATVs, motocross, or things like that. Chainsaw, and people like my boyfriend. He works in the wood industry, and they've been out of work for over 2 weeks because it's too dry. So they've just shut down. So they cannot even work.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
no vehicle is accepted in the bush.
I guess I guess like to put it in simple terms, it's to just make sure that everything's safe so that everywhere can slowly die down, fires are controlled, and that all in all, safety is like really important. And then we get these fires under control completely
Exactly.
and then move on with the rest of the year.
Even some lakes are been like unusable because they don't want people to go like fishing or boating or like anything, because the planes, they need to get the water
Mhm.
on the lakes to extinguish the fires, so it's dangerous. So they've warned people like you cannot even go on lakes or rivers for some places, because that's where the planes, they get the water for dropping on the fires. Yeah.
Well, sorry, we kind of gotten a little bit sidetracked with the
Yes.
show, but it is a little bit important to like discuss what's going on. And haven't if you guys missed the first little segment, Valerie was just explaining about Quebec's situations regarding the fires. So, what you can do to support is to contact the Red Cross, and and they'll happily accept donations. And when it comes to the animal shelters and the Quebec firefighters, they will happily donate any accept donations as well. And especially with spreading the news around, super super important, so everyone is aware and that everyone can pitch in and help as much as they can. All right, so going back to our scheduled programming, so Valerie, you did talk a little bit about how you went into MCGP, how you found out about it. So talk about your pageant experience when it comes to those 3 days and leading up to the 7 days, the highlights.
Well, as I said, like I had no experience at all. I didn't even know that pageant were really existing here in Canada. I thought it was
Mhm.
only like in the United States or in movies. So when I found out it was real, I was kind of surprised, and I applied having no expectation. I was like thinking, there I have no chances at all. Like the girl like from up north Quebec that speaks French, and I'm gonna go there and feel like the black sheep, you know? So I was like, okay, well, I'll try, and then I'll just enjoy and have fun and we'll see.
Mhm.
And when I got there, I was so stressed, so nervous, just to be like just be afraid of not fit in the mold. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm.
Just I went to Toronto saying to myself, what am I doing? What am I doing? I should go back home. But when I got there, I was so relieved, because every single girl out there was thinking the same thing as me. I was scared that I would be with people like being like high, like, I don't know how you say that in English, but
High and mighty, like
like, huh,
just
yeah,
sticking your chin up
yeah.
the air. Yeah.
And I realized that I when I got there, everyone was at the same stage. Like everyone was nervous.
Mhm.
Everyone had issues in their life. Everyone had like difficulties, had a background. And the first 3 days was they were the best moments of the whole pageant week for me, because these were the days where we learned about each other, when we got to connect, when we got to gain confidence. Also, when we got the most of the training, but
Mhm.
a lot of the mental like training and the mental stuff that you you belong here, you deserve to be here, you have the right to be
Mhm.
there, and the girl next to you, that's the same. And the girl next to you, like, she understands you, and she's not um your like opposite, like she compete against you, but
Mhm.
before that, she's your friend.
Yeah.
And you, for the first 3 days, of course, we got like training, and we got blisters. And it was like sometimes painful. And we went back to bed like really late, and we were tired, but we had so much fun because in the first 3 days, like the regionals, this is when we created the most incredible bonds with the girls. And then the 7 days of the nationals,
Mhm.
this is where we enjoyed the moments, because this is the moment where we were wearing like the gowns, and the like the competition really began, but it was a fun competition, you
Mhm.
know. And we were learning how to walk, but how to comb our hair, makeup. And we were having few visits in Toronto. So we went to the CN Tower, we went to restaurants. So we got to enjoy more. So the first 3 days was more to know each other, and connect to each other,
Mhm.
and bound like a family. And then the 7 days later after that, we just enjoy and had so much fun. And of course, like, there was the competition and the votes, and like the ranking.
Mhm.
There's going to be a crowning at the end, but we were so close to each other that whoever would win, we would be happy anyway. So it was just like positive from the beginning to the end. It was amazing. And I've grown so much in that week. I gained so much confidence. And it's just when I came back home, like, when I saw my kids after 10 days,
Mhm.
of course I missed them. But while I was there, for the first time in my life, I enjoyed something for me. I did something for myself. And when I came here back home, I was just even happier to see them. But the energy and the interaction I had with my kids was so much more positive. The
Mhm.
energy I had, and what I could give them was more positive than it was ever before. Because before that, with all I went through in my life, with conjugal violence and everything,
Mhm.
I was a negative person, and I had no self confidence at all. And that experience changed me completely, but for the best, you know? So I became
Mhm.
the person that I've wanted to be, you know? I've always wanted to be someone. I wanted to exist. And I never felt like I've existed in my life. I was always hiding behind a facing, because I was um, going through all that violence, and now I could exist. So they made me exist. That pageant made me exist again.
That is so beautifully told. I'm gonna cry.
Don't cry. I'll cry, and then you'll ruin my makeup. Don't do that. Don't do that. I have no waterproof mascara.
No, the same. The
Yeah.
way you just told your whole experience, it's so beautiful and so well told, and the fact that those 10 days, like, you completely changed and you had such a positive it had such a positive impact on you, like, mentally, psychologically, in all aspects. And then just hearing that after you took what you learned and what you experienced home with you and how you got to greet your kids, like, and then you shared that positivity with them and greeted them with such positivity, that's amazing.
Yes.
W- was there a favorite moment that you had during those 10 days, or any favorite memories, the ones that you recall still?
Um, I would say the moment we had the kind of the pajama party where when we got all together and we had all gifts for each other.
Mhm.
That exchange moment was something I really liked because um, we were like stress free and we were just enjoying the moment. So that was something I really liked, with the girls being just relaxed and enjoying that time, no stress of thinking about the competition.
Mhm.
The one thing that really really touched my heart is on the second day, when we were all telling our story, where we were coming from,
Mhm.
and explaining our journey. Like, every single girl had a different story. And sometimes you think that, oh, she's so pretty, she's this and she's that, and she looks like this, and I'm sure she's like that, and she has everything she wants in her life, and she has it easy. And when that person opens her mouth and start telling her
Mhm.
story, and you hear what she went through in her life, and you are like, oh my gosh, I really thought that she was like this, and oh, I feel bad for thinking that of that person, when we judge people before knowing them.
Mhm.
And that was just that moment when we were all together telling our stories. I don't know if you remember, you were there. I
Mhm.
eh? So everyone sitting in circle telling our story one after the other.
Mhm.
People were crying because they were touched of each other's stories. And this is the moment that really, like, touched my heart the most, because I realized that even though that girl next to me is really pretty and this and that, and I think she had like everything easy in her life,
Mhm.
that's not necessarily true. And when she opens her mouth, even though I thought she would be high head, like thinking, I look at her and I think she's, oh, I don't care about people like this, because she's not like that. I
Mhm.
got I got proved wrong. So it made me learn that you don't judge people by how they look. And I've always teach that to people around me and to my kids also. Like, even though you look like this, maybe it's or you look like that, maybe it's not their fault if they don't have like beautiful clothes, or if they're bigger, like chubbier, or because we do have darker skin. And my daughter
Mhm.
went through bullying, and I went through bullying a lot when I was in school with that. So I try to teach them not to um, not to care about what people look like, because it's not the most important thing. What's the most important is what you have in here and what you
Mhm.
have in here. And that moment in the pageant, that's where it just all like dropped in my head and my heart. Like, it really, really, really got into me like a ton of brick. And it was like, yeah, that's what I teach, but I don't always like do.
Mhm.
When you say, like, do what I say and not what I do. But it really hit me that day, and I was like, oh, I did judge that girl. I
Mhm.
was, and that moment, it just hit me right in the face, and I will never forget that. That was the most touching moment ever in my life.
That I really like how MCGP did that. That I believe that was like a part of the confidence training. Like
Yes.
I never expected like a pageant to really get their girls like all in a circle and we all tell our life experiences. Cuz I remember when it was my turn and when you're walking around a circle you're
Yes.
thinking I'm not going to cry and then just I remember doing that as a delegate, and I remember doing that when I came back as a queen. Just like it's sharing like my stories and like what I've been through. Of course, crying because you're being vulnerable to like
Mhm.
these girls you've only known for like 24, 48
Yes.
hours. But it's also I understand that I get you. It's even talking about it now, it's like triggering a vulnerable reaction, but it's really I think that's also one of my favorite moments is because like it's a essentially a big circle heart to heart moment and it's also a reminder about how this is not a competition. We are girls being girls living. We have a story to tell. We went through different things, but that doesn't mean that we can't like not have a wonderful experience and we all deserve to be here no matter where we come from, what we look like,
Exactly.
anything.
Exactly.
So, very, very touching. Flashbacks.
Yes.
So Valerie, thank you for like sharing your whole like regionals and nationals experience.
You're
Um,
welcome.
how does it feel to be in a pageant that actually accepts older women?
Well, at first I felt weird about that because I was like, oh, I'm gonna be like too old. I'm gonna be the only one there. And
Mhm,
actually, no. So I was surprised. I was so scared to be the only one.
mhm,
And seeing that there were quite a lot of older women with me, I was really happy because I was thinking about um, why shouldn't older women do it? You know, why is it only for a certain group of girls? Like, girls are girls, whatever the age you have. Like, you're a
mhm.
woman, you're a little girl, a grandma. What does that change? I mean,
Exactly.
you're still a girl. I was
Mhm.
I was born this way. I'll die this way. I'm a girl.
Yeah.
So why should it only be until 27 years old?
Mhm.
So even also that I realized that pageants were existing. I was 38, so I would already be too old if there wouldn't be a category for the MS. So I was really happy finding out there was a category for us because it allows us to live something that we never thought that would be available for people like us, and it makes us experience something. And the fact that we're going through this at an older age, I think our vision is also different because our
Mhm.
vision of beauty also is different, I would say. Because when I look at my daughter, she looks at herself and her vision of the beauty is really like physical, 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 physical. Like she's
Mhm.
12 and she's, oh, my belly's like this, oh, my arm, my thighs, oh, my, you know, and I try to tell her like the beauty is not only physical. When I went to the pageant industry, um, I was thinking about, is it only gonna be like that also? And I realized, well, no, and mostly not for women like me.
Mhm.
They cannot ask us to be shaped like a 10-year-old or a 18-year-old girl because we are older and we got kids and
Mhm.
your body change when you have children. when you give birth, your body change.
It's gonna
So
change.
yeah, so I was really happy to see that the criterias are more open for older women, and the the beauty, the way they see the beauty also, like they used to see beauty like this, and now
Mhm.
they open their eyes, and I hope they're gonna do that like more and more and more, because people are so different. There's not two girls looking the same on the planet, and that's normal. Like beauty is not just physical. Beauty is not a number, like it's not an age.
Mhm.
Beauty is so many things. So I was really happy to know that there was no more limit of age like at 27 years old.
And that's like how how it I get how it should be. Like how you put it, like girls, it's girls for girls. All of us are girls here, and I believe that each and every girl like deserves to have like her moment.
Yes.
Have a moment where like she's recognized for who she is and has a crown on her head. No matter if she's like really small, like 10 years old, or like what you said, like in her 30s, in her 40s, because
Yes.
every girl, every woman deserves that opportunity. And talking about the MS categories, so it's really cool now that MCGP has like really expanded their, I guess, their category and their age limit. So the MS category, for those who don't know or want to look into it more, it's for transgender women who
Mhm.
have had the legal and medical transition, those who are married, those who are divorced, and women who have children. And I also believe, I think that's pretty much the category itself. So, yes, trans women, divorced, married, single, widowed, have kids. It's completely expanded
Yeah.
now, and I'm so
18,
glad
18 to
it is.
45, I think, eh? Am I wrong? 18 to 45?
I think so. I think so. Still really cool.
Yes.
So for you guys, oh wow, we're in 50 minutes. Dang, look at us go. So for those who have missed the first whack of the live tonight, in order to be mentored by Valerie Roy for the 25th edition of the MCGP pageant, again, all you would have to submit for your application is just your name, age, your height. There are no height or weight restrictions, which is awesome.
Hmm.
Phone number and your emails. And if you are under 18, you would also have to submit your parents' or guardians' phone numbers and emails. You can send it to the email, which is recruitment@misscanada.tv, or you can also send it by direct message to the Ms. of Canada by MCGP Facebook page, just by Facebook Messenger. So, Valerie, let's go on to our other section, which is let's talking about being an MCGP title holder. So, what has being a title holder, what has that done for you personally and also regards to your platform?
Actually, personally, it's been great. Mostly the for my kids, but also like the kids in my community, because
Mhm.
I've tried to show them that we can do whatever we want, and um, by being a reigning queen is just like the cherry on the sundae, because they see that even though we are um, for us, I'm the regular mom, like that go to school a few times a week to help them and that cook with them and play outside and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And then when I show them, like, I have the sash and the crown and stuff like that, and they are like, they have stars in their eyes, and they're like, wow, that's yours. And I'm like, yes. And I want it because I worked for it and I wanted it. So when you want something, you work for it, you'll get it, you know. So um it's just the way they look at us when we have that, like, sash and crown on.
Mhm.
It just, it's like if they've been like throwing like hearts and love to us, you know. You feel
Mhm.
like completely surrounded with love, and that's such a great feeling. It's incredible. And it's been great also for just my personal confidence. Just that means the world to me, just for that. And it allowed me to meet so much people, so many like amazing girls like you, my little girl, my baby girl, that I miss so much. and and it made me like meet a new family, meet new friends. And for my platform, actually, I've made promotion with, my platform is called Psychien, because I have an assistance dog, a service dog.
Mhm.
And as I said earlier, I work to get, we're working on the project having a rescue shelter for animal rescue here. And having that on my side, like all the experience I got with MCGP, having the experience of talking to people, because I was to a point where I couldn't talk to anyone. When I got really sick, I was stuck in my house. I couldn't even go outside. I was too sick, but also I got to PTSD
Mhm.
and anxiety. So I couldn't talk to anyone. I couldn't go like even to the grocery store. It was too hard for me. And with the training we got and the experience, I gained so much confidence that now I'm able to speak to people. I'm able to talk in public, to do more stuff. So because of that, I can go on with that project, you know, and we can build that now. And we can, like, I can do lives on Facebook and ask people for, a like, for sponsors, and I can ask for volunteers, and I can ask for help, which I would have never been able to do that like 2 years ago. So it just helped me be able just to speak. I lost that ability years ago, and now
Mhm.
it's back. So just that means so much.
That's awesome to hear. Thank you so much for sharing about your platform and the fact that you you having a title, it got you to, like you said, reclaim your voice back. And you, once you got like something that you lost, you felt like you can do more, especially when you mentioned like how you can do lives, ask for sponsors, meet and talk to new people.
Yes.
Like that's amazing.
Yes.
um did you also like do any appearances once you've been crowned?
Yes, I did a few ones. I've been asked for African modeling shows.
Ooh.
We did a few here. So I've been wearing African clothes, which I love. Like,
Mhm.
it's all colorful and different from what we wear here. And I've done a few. I've done the Santa Claus walk on Christmas time with the for the kids. I don't know how you call that in
Mhm.
English, but every year there's Santa like going in the streets here and
Mhm.
there. And I've been asked for different events, and we've done some photo shoots. Also, I've done photos for Esco Water,
Mhm.
which is from my hometown, because they sponsored me for my first pageant in Toronto. And Yes, and so I've been here and there for a few things like that. So um, it's been something different because I've never been asked to do stuff like that. So I have to um, like the fact that I'm gaining, as you said, like getting my voice back and work on my anxiety and PTSD, get out of my comfort zone. But I'm getting better at it, so I'm really happy, and I'm doing much more events that I used to. And I've even done like a TV interview and radio interview. So yes, so that's kind of like cool, crazy cool at the same time because I mean I get really nervous, but I'm able to do it.
Mhm.
So I'm so proud of myself being able to do that.
Oh wow, that's awesome! Like you going on to doing TV interviews and stuff. That's really really cool.
Yes.
So now let's talk about being an MCGP title holder and basically what what it is, why it's important. So what MCGP is looking for in their future queens are basically four main things. So the first one being dedication and loyalty. You have to put in your 110% into it. You have to want it. So being
Yes.
a title holder is it's a job. Basically
Oh,
it's a
it
job.
is.
hmm
It is.
In order to have a successful reign, like I said, a successful year, all in all, you have to be very dedicated. And number two is commitment. Yeah, like I said, being a title holder is a lot of hard work because of the responsibilities that are attached to it, but it's also so rewarding at the same time.
Hmm.
You are going to grow into this title, and people are going to recognize you and see you as a mentor and as a positive role model with the sash on or without the sash. It
Exactly.
doesn't matter. And that
Exactly.
is a true blessing as a queen. And it's not all just about wearing sashes, wearing crowns, being really pretty in dresses and whatnot. It's having that responsibility, but also what can you do for your community and your hometown? Like what can do you do community events? Do you do fundraising? Do you do donations to the food banks or donate clothing? Do you basically help out? Because that's what MCGP Queens do. We help our communities and we don't put our titles in the closet. We use them for goodwill. And number three is the global ambassadorship. So, what does that really mean? Well, that means that MCGP Queens are being sent into different countries to represent Canada at the international stage, which is the big one of the biggest opportunities ever because you get to represent yourself, where you come from, your province, your city, your country in an international stage and say, hey, I'm from Canada. Look at what I can do.
Yeah.
And it's also great because you get to meet other girls from different countries and share cultures. You guys can share stories. And the cool thing is that you build a, a really locked in bond. Even if the English or your preferred language is like very minimal, there is always a way to just click. And
Yes.
that is really, really special. And the fourth one, which is a big one for MCGP, is the mentorship. And that's basically means that MCGP queens mentor the new delegates, the new title holders. And even if a girl is not a delegate yet, it is still an MCGP queen's job to mentor that person, sharing their experiences, sharing their tips, and something really simple as like, oh, I can give you tips on like how to wear this gown or find gowns, like
Mhm.
and especially shoes, makeup. even small little tips. And even if that girl is going to internationals, you can also share your international experiences as well. And that makes those girls that you are mentoring have so much confidence. And once they are mentored by that really special someone, they are going to feel way more confident and way more prepared than what they used to. And being as a mentor myself, and that's just really, really cool to see. It's basically you're raising someone to not surpass you, but in a way, it's just raising that someone and just teaching them, like, basically all you know, sharing what you know, sharing your experiences so that they can do the best they can be the best that they can be, and
Exactly.
just basically just live, be prepared, and yeah, do the best that they can with the help of you.
Exactly.
And once you have done these four things, then you have what it takes to be an MCGP queen. And before we move on to more exciting news, Valerie, is there anything that you like to um like to add on to those four pillars that I shared?
Well, I think you've pretty much said it. Like, you have to commit 100%. I would say 110%. And um, when you put your heart into something anyway, like you said, it's a job. But when you love what you do, it's not a job. When
Mm-hmm.
you love it, it's not a job. It's so fun, and you commit 110%, and results will just be there. If you fully commit, it will just go with the flow and be so easy, and just enjoy the moment. And um the mentorship is just, that's one of the best part, like
Mm-hmm.
teaching the girls what you've learned, and like being the mom of the new ones. Like, this is the part I love, like being the mom of the new girls, like explaining them, we're going to do this and this, you should do this like that, and let me help you with that, and did you bring
Mm-hmm.
this, did you do that? And it's just, it's like the whole package is just itself, it's just like pure heaven.
Mm-hmm. It's really cool because those girls will see you like as a mom, but also like as a big sister,
Yeah.
and that's what I try to be. And it's also really cool that like those girls also see you as like a really close friend, and
Yes.
being a mentor, not only just a mentor but also an MCGP queen. It's a pretty huge honor.
Hmm.
Now I am excited to talk a little bit more about the 25th edition again of the MCGP pageant. So, way a long time ago in the beginning of this live, I did mention that MCGP is celebrating 25 years of service, and because of this, yay, we are separating our four categories into their own separate pageants. So, really cool. Things are shaking up a little bit. And this also means that the delegates will be given a regional title to represent before the pageant week comes. And it'll give you the experience of having a title, being a regional title holder before the actual competition starts. So you'll be given an experience to represent your regionals and be involved in your community and area that you will represent. And this was a system of MCGP that has been brought back for this year, returning it into the system. So during the National Pageant Week, you'll attend the provincial assessment, which is basically the workshop block, those 3 days.
Hmm.
You will compete for the provincial titles. You'll attend the workshop, and from what I remember, the workshop was just getting to know the girls, but also train a lot of a lot of training, a lot of blisters, a lot of swallowing,
Walking.
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 Yeah, the makeup, the hair, how to
Yes.
do this, how to accessorize. I think I think I remember walking was like the biggest one.
Yes. Yes. Few hours a day.
Just a few. Just a few. And then yeah, you will basically be judged on what you learned on those 3 days, and then you'll be able to get your provincial titles. But it is not an elimination round. No one's getting
No.
kicked off or anything of that sort. And everyone will be getting their crowns and their new titles. So it's just who is going to represent which provincial title. And after that, it's the highlight of the pageant week, which is all the fun stuff. Yes, there's still more training, like a lot more training,
More
but
blisters.
yeah, there's a lot more
More
blisters.
fun.
Oh yeah, there's more fun. There's
There's more
basically
fun.
yeah. So it's anything, you name it, it'll be there. You're going to do a lot of exploring around Toronto, eating at different places, getting to know the girls a lot more, photo shoots, fashion shows, trying on different outfits. Basically, you name it, you are going to have
Yeah.
so much
Dancing,
fun.
choreographies,
Yeah. The dance.
karaoke,
Mhm.
disco and salsa competition. Like,
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was fun. It
yeah,
was so
like
much
getting
fun.
who will be the salsa queen and the disco queen, and like there's so much fun.
Especially like the karaoke queen where everyone just like sings into the mic even though they don't know the song, they're just like trying anyway.
Yeah,
It's so fun.
do your best.
And then like the competition happens, so which will determine who will be the national queens. And just to let you all know that everyone is a winner, but there is only one crown. And if you do not win as a national queen, there's no need to stress. There's no need to feel sad or anything, because if you performed really well as a regional title holder throughout the year, actually, MCGP will invite you to compete for a national pageant for Miss Canada charity. So your whole MCGP journey doesn't stop there after the nationals. There will be so many more opportunities open for you no matter what happens. And I think that's really cool. And I just wanted to let everyone know that whoever Valerie will get to mentor, will have the honor of mentoring, I know she will do a really good job. And this is not me like over exaggerating. This is me being genuine. I know she will do a really great job. I stayed in a cruise ship with her for the 4 days, and it was my
We
first
share
time
the
meeting
small
her.
cabin together.
Smallest cabin.
Small.
And let me tell you, she is so sweet and so nice. She will do a great job mentoring you, and she will do her best anytime. So, after hearing all of Valerie's pageant experience, her story, and what MCGP has to offer this year, who wants to be on Valerie's team? So join us. Join us now. Join the family. Join the big sisterhood for 25 years. Join us for the Miss Canada Globe Productions national pageant, which is happening very soon. And you're probably asking, what do I need? What do I need to submit? All you have to do is submit your your name, your age, your height, email and phone address, email address. Yes, I said that right.
Yes.
And if you are under 18, again, just be sure to also send in your parents' information as well. All that we need is just your their phone numbers and email addresses as well. And just send it to the email, which is recruitment@misscanada.tv, or you can just do a Facebook Messenger message on the MS Ms. of Canada by MCGP Facebook page. So join now, and Valerie would love to mentor you. So, as we mentioned before, um, regarding the international pageants that the queens have the honor of doing, Valerie, let's talk about your experience with the Universal Petite pageant that you did last July. Like, how was your whole experience with it, and how does it feel to represent Canada at the international stage?
Wow. That was such a honor. Um, it was, well, first of all, it was so huge. Like
Mm-hmm.
being on an international competition like that,
Mm-hmm.
like you see people from all of these countries over the world, and you get on that boat. Well, I've never went on a cruise before, so it was totally new for me.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing the girls with all their flags and like I've never expected something like that before. I never thought I would get even the chance to do that. And I've met girls from all over the world, and I've made friends and family all over the world. That's the
Mm-hmm.
first thing. And same thing as we did as the MCGP pageant in Toronto. Like we've connected so quick, we've made friends like really fast.
Mm-hmm.
And the girls were all like really sweet, really nice girls, and we were from ages like teens to MS, like me, and we were all together as family all the time. We went visiting Mexico. We had and it's not like the pageant here because there was no training. It's just competing and having the shows and the interviews, and it was just
Mm-hmm.
enjoying all the time. So we do, okay, so this morning we do like business outfit, this morning we do the swimsuit, tomorrow we do like that kind of gown, this one is national costume. So seeing like
Mm-hmm.
only that side of the competition, like no training, no nothing, is just let's go and enjoy all the gowns and the costumes and
Mm-hmm.
everything. And you see everyone from different countries, how different they work, how different they dress, and how the culture and everything, learning about all these girls, it was just such an amazing experience just to know about that, learning different cultures, exchanging on that. That was so, um, how do you say that? That was something that um, you cannot like calculate on life scale. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it just it's just something that is given to you on a silver platter. You know, you get the
Mm-hmm.
chance to know all these cultures, all these different girls. We all have the same goal, which is being the best version of ourselves, but on a different way. And that's what is beautiful. And we had so much fun, so much fun. Like, we laughed so much. You remember? I'm sure you did.
Yep.
So we had so many moments where it was so funny. Like, of course, some things happens which you don't necessarily have control on. It was a
Mm-hmm.
cruise,
Mm-hmm.
so we were kind of like having motion sickness stuff sometimes, and
Yeah.
well, you cannot control that, so you have to deal with that. And we
Mm-hmm.
just, of course, it's not fun, but we find a way to laugh about it. So it's just pure pleasure all the time. Pure pleasure. And even though we have stress on some moments, like meeting the judges or doing the interviews,
Mm-hmm.
it's just, you get to a point where you have just to let that stress go and just enjoy and realize that it's a once in a lifetime experience, and just grab all that positive that happens to you and leave the negative behind and just remember that. And that is like something so memorizable that you'll never forget that.
I remember like that was our first internationals with MCGP. And I remember like me and you talking about like, oh boy, what's gonna happen? There's gonna be a lot of things happening. Because how it was structured is like we all met up in Toronto for a few days, then we went to Florida and
Mm-hmm.
then stayed there for the night. And
Yes.
then we went to the cruise.
Yes.
So we were just, I remember me and you were just like talking about, well, basically like anything,
Mm-hmm.
and how things are going to go. And especially with when the girls got motion sickness, like it didn't just affect us, it affected like everyone on the ship. And there were so many people who were actually motion sickness. And then I think the motion sickness like really started to hit when yeah, it started to hit, I think, like after the dinner, like
Yes,
that's
the
when
captain's dinner when we got
that's
to give
when it
the
started.
gifts exchange.
Oh yeah, yeah, that too. And then yeah, I think we just went to our rooms. We walked so slow, and thank God we didn't vomit. We were
I did.
like we were. Oh, you did?
Oh yes, I
Oh
did
no.
plenty of times. Plenty of times. This is why I missed the part of the gift exchange.
Oh,
Oh yes,
that's
I
why.
was really sick.
Oh no. Oh, I thought you were with us because I do remember going back to the rooms. I didn't know
Yes,
someone told
we
us
went
about
back.
it.
Yes, because we were too
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah, and like I think it was also because like we were on our feet like all day and we couldn't walk that.
Mhm.
And then I remember just like I don't know who unlocked the door, but like we unlocked the door and then I remember just
Yes, yes.
I
You and Jamie, you were laying down on the floor
yeah.
because you could not, you couldn't even get back on your bed because you were too sick.
I think it was a lot of things. I think it was like just um I think it was just being tired. Like I was also in pain because well, my legs and feet blisters, and like
Mhm.
the motion sickness. It was also my first time on a cruise,
Yeah,
and I never had motion sickness ever until I guess at that point like we were like right in the middle of like going to Cozumel, Mexico,
yes.
and then I guess the waves like really started to hit after dinner, and then it's just
You
like,
could see the
oh
water in the glass on the table doing that.
yeah, that was insane.
Yes. Yes,
Ah,
it was. Yes. And you remember like the day we had the interview, we were out of the cafeteria when we went out and I
mhm.
fell down.
Yeah, I
That
remember
was the
that.
same day.
Oh
And we
no.
have like these huge heels like that are 10 inches high.
Yeah.
So when you fall down, like it's almost dangerous to break your neck.
Mhm.
So that same day, like it was, but at the end of that experience, what we do, we laugh about it because it's funny memories,
Mhm.
you know?
We still
At
love
that,
it.
yeah, we still laugh about it. It was fun. Even though at that time we were not really having fun being sick or falling
Mhm.
down like in our gowns and dresses with our sash and crown, like we feel like we're looking stupid. Like the whole cruise, people, like people on the cruise, they see you falling down with your sash on, and you're like, "Oh my god, they saw me." And then when you go back home, you say, you tell yourself like, "Well, they don't know me anyway. I won't see them anymore." And it was just like funny.
Yeah, it was just funny and like no one's really gonna care anyway. They're just like, "Oh my god, did she break her neck?" No, she's fine. Thank God.
Yeah. Did you
Because
break an ankle? Oh, you fell
yeah,
with your heels. Yes.
I remember like just our discussions, us like laughing after like we went into our rooms at like 2 o'clock in the morning. So because we also had to do other things as well, like doing a little bit of lives and just doing some videos for MCGP. I remember just like completely laughing and having like an hour of sleep before the next day.
Yes, because we were up at 4 for hair and makeup.
Yeah.
We'd go to bed at 2 and be up at 4 for hair and makeup.
And
And we
then
need to shower in that time also.
mhm. And
Yes.
then I think all three of us were just like, all right, who's gonna shower? Who's gonna shower first? Okay, you go, go. I gotta borrow your steamer.
Yes, yes, and we had, yes, that's true. We had to steam all the gowns and stuff like that. So yeah. So I think in the 4 days we might have slept what, 8 hours, 10 hours.
8 hours, 8 hours in total. 8 hours.
Yeah, in the 4 days of the, like, the whole cruise. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's why we were laughing that much. We were so exhausted we would laugh about anything.
Yeah. Because we were so sleep deprived. But even like with just what we've experienced on those 4 days, I had a lot of fun. It was like my first time, I think, ever since, I guess, because last time I've been like international was like going to the Philippines in like years ago. And then when I when I found out that right after my exams that I was going to go to international pageant, wearing Canada on my chest, being called not by my name, but being called by Canada and the girls calling me Canada. It was a little bit weird and something to get used to, but also because there's so many things packed in like a day, so many activities, all of which were really fun. And I noticed that the stress, like once you like before you go to the international competition, a there will be stress, but like day by day the stress just like slowly melts away. And even if it does come back, it turns into like nervous but like happy shakes, like
Yes.
happy excited shakes, or the stress is just like really short. And even
Yes.
with like the interviews too.
It's not a bad stress. Like,
Mhm.
not like something, sometimes you have stress but you feel it like it's negative, but
Mhm.
it's not negative stress. It's kind of like fun, happy nervousness. So
Yeah.
yes, it's more like excitement,
Mhm.
I'd say.
Yeah, the happy shakes. Sometimes
Yes.
the happy shakes are good shakes.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, do you have like for those like 4 days in Cozumel, do you have like a favorite, like a food, favorite memory, or like the favorite activities that we did?
um I really like the photo shoot on the beach in Cozumel. That
Mhm.
was something like, of course, when we got out of the boat, that was one of my favorite moments. Just putting my feet on the ground, like the real ground, not
Mhm.
just going out of the boat. That was crazy. Just feeling like no more waves or something, but like the, yeah, really the photo shoot on the beach, that was so fun. Like swimming in the ocean, I really like that moment. And all the food on the boat, it was just so good. All the dinners, the captain dinners,
Mhm.
we had so much um, amazing meals. The I remember the crème brûlée. It was just
Mm.
delicious. Oh yes, it was delicious.
Mama.
Really, really, and there was that animation. You remember that
Mhm.
all the waiters and waitresses, they were always dancing during the dinners.
Yep.
That was so much fun. That was that girl Esther. You remember
Mhm.
Esther? She was at
Yeah, I
our
remember
table
Arthur.
almost all the time. And it was so much fun because we would stand up like during dinner and dance and doing some choreographies. It was
Mhm.
so fun. Oh, hi Liz. I saw your mom.
My mom says hi.
Hi Liz. Hi.
And the dog came too.
Oh,
Shower.
And my dog.
oh, hi, doggy. Happy birthday late, because I said it was his birthday. Oh God, you won't have any more lipstick. So
Her
yeah,
name's Jessie. Oh my god, please leave.
ah,
Okay. Yeah, I remember Esther. She was like super sweet. Like the captain dinners, like the whole we could literally talk about just Cozumel, but to put it really, I guess really nicely, to wrap it up, to have that opportunity of going to internationals and going to like a place you've never been before, an experience you never had. I always dreamed about like going to a cruise, just like, for a holiday, like one of the Disney cruises. I always wanted that as a kid. And now thinking about how I was able to do that with MCGP giving me that opportunity and winning my Petite Spirit Award, like all of that just happening in a short amount of 4 days. Like I felt so proud. I felt like I accomplished a lot at that point. I felt like I could do anything and like achieving so much, and I felt like my childhood self could really be proud. And I'm sure you felt the same way too.
of course I did. Of course, I was so proud of myself. Just walking on that stage with, like, you look at the competition and you feel like, oh, I'm not good enough, like, for that.
Mhm.
They are looking better than me. What? There's always that little voice behind here telling you you're not good enough. You're not good enough.
Mhm.
And like I see the photo, like with my trophy, which is right here. Like coming back home with that trophy, it meant the world to me. It was just, first of all, I never thought that I would like bring anything from that competition. I was not having an expectation because I didn't want to be disappointed in myself. So just
Mhm.
coming back with that, and well, I would say just going there was already like winning to me. Just being able to go there, I considered that as winning. And to bring that trophy back home, it was just like, I cannot even describe how I felt and how I still feel about that. Like it's here and it's not moving. Like it's always been there since we got back, and I'll never remove it. Like
Oh.
I'm so proud of what I did that I don't even want to remove that trophy from there. I wanted to stay there like forever because I'm proud of what I've been able to accomplish, you know?
Oh, I totally get it. Like after like what we've been through and just being able to take something home, like especially you like taking home the honor of second runner up, like you got something out of that. It wasn't just like you being there, you had a place and you took home like many things. And to wrap it up like really nicely, like you felt honored in a way. You
Yeah.
felt very special.
Yes. Yes. And my crown stands next to the trophy, and like when I take it off, I put it like in that little wrap and next to the trophy, and
Mhm.
every night I go to sleep next to my trophy and my crown. Like
Aw.
it stays there, and I sleep next to it every single night. That it's just, it's such a great accomplishment. I'm proud of it, and I worked for it,
Mhm.
and I worked hard, and I'm trying to um, accept myself that I deserve it. I'm working on that. It's hard to say I deserve it, but I'm
Mhm.
working really hard on accepting that. because deserving something, it's a word that's really hard to say for me, that I deserve things. But this here
Hmm.
is something I'm getting like really better at saying I deserved it. Like I really deserved it. So I work hard on that, but I'm getting better at saying it now.
That's good. That's good. Like you're slowly like accepting it like better and better every day.
Yes.
And you are actually going to another
Mhm.
international, I've heard. So, which is the World Miss City Queen in November. So
Yeah.
how are you feeling about that?
I'm really happy. I'm looking forward to go. Like I really um I would leave like tomorrow because I know like how it is, how much fun that is. So I'm
Mhm.
really excited to go, and being able, like I would do like an international every single week because it's so much fun. So I'm really excited to go there, and um now that I've done it once, I know how it
Mhm.
works. So I know that I'm gonna do better also because I know how it is. I know how it works. So I'm gonna be more prepared also. So I'm gonna work harder, but I'm gonna work on what I know I did wrong to be better, to be a better version of myself also,
Mhm.
and um, and this time to bring back the crown to Canada. So I'm gonna make Canada proud and bring back the crown next time.
I know you will, and I know you'll do a wonderful job.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. So are you starting your preparations or what
Well,
is
I
going?
already have pretty much all my gowns.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So pretty much all my gowns are here ready. I have a few more that are getting ready with Kim, our designer. And I've been working also on my English, getting better and better.
Mhm.
And I know that they speak Spanish. So I need to work on my Spanish a little bit because they have translators from English to Spanish and Spanish to English, but there's no translation with French. So
Mhm.
I have to deal with English and Spanish. So I'm going to work with a little bit of my Spanish, even though it looks like French when they speak fast, because Spanish
Mhm.
people, they do speak really fast. It's really hard. So I need to work on that. And I want to have a little bit more preparation on my Q&As
Mhm.
because the questions with the interviews is always the part that stresses me the most. So I need more preparation on that. And I'm gonna start walking with my heels soon because I don't want to have blisters in November. So
Yeah,
I'm
for
gonna
sure.
start working with them again. Hi, Liz.
Yeah, and I also recommend for anyone when it comes to like wearing your heels for a really long time and also practicing, be sure to like because band-aids won't work. Be sure to just like bring a lot of like pantyhose. Basically, you just slip it on. It's kind of like leggings, but it just covers your feet as well, and then you can just wear like your pants or your gowns over it, and then it'll be easier to like wear the shoe down, and then you'll be less likely to get blisters at the end of the day. And that's what I've used like up until this point is just pantyhose all the time, and it helps. So I
And for
recommend.
blisters, you need band-aids, but you need duct tape also to put over the band-aids because they won't stay.
Oh yeah, I was like, wait, duct tape on the blister
No, no, over the band-aids.
over the band-aids. That's a good point. That's a good point too. Um, and if you guys have any questions at all regarding um regarding Valerie's pageant experience or with her internationals, including her upcoming or any questions regarding mentorship. We will see if there's any. And yeah, you guys can ask any of those types of questions, and Valerie will love to answer them. If you have any, just type in the chat, type in the live chat, and you will have your questions answered. There doesn't seem to be any on this side, though. No questions as of now, but you guys are totally welcome to, even after this live is ended. Yeah. So I guess since there is no questions tonight, we will end this show. So this will be the conclusion, the end of our MCGP Primetime tonight. Valerie, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I love talking with you.
I love talking with you also, baby girl. I miss you so much.
I miss you too.
I'm looking forward to seeing you again.
Same. I want to see if I can make it this year. Even like
That would be so
even if it happens in the school year, I'll see. I might not be able to like because of school, but I'll see. I'll definitely see, and then who knows? Fingers crossed.
Cross my toes also.
Cross the toes.
Okay. And my legs and my arms.
Cross everything.
Everything. My tongue.
How?
I don't know. It doesn't work. Anyway, I've crossed everything I can.
Cross as much as you can. Oh, you're so sweet. Actually, so before we like completely sign off for tonight, is there anything that you would like to say? Say a few words to anyone who's watching when it comes to how they can support you with the mentorship and your upcoming international.
Oh, of course. You can follow me. I have my Facebook page and Instagram, which is Valerie Roy, Miss of Canada 2021-2022. So you can follow me on these two pages. And also, when I'll be in the Dominican Republic, I just want to make sure I'm not wrong. I think it's Dominican Republic for my next pageant. There will be a lot of live videos, and you'll be able to vote. And the votes, they count a lot when it comes to going to the finals and win the titles. So I'm gonna need Canada to vote for me. So I hope that everyone will be there. And also, I want to thank everyone for being here tonight on the live, but also everyone who is there like all year long to support me, but also support all the girls that are in the Miss Canada Globe industry, because I'm not the only one doing internationals also. So all the girls, they go internationally, they need support, and I know Canada is always there to support the girls. So thanks to everyone out there. And I know lately the whole country is being dealing with weather catastrophes. So don't give up, everyone. I know summer will be hard this year, but thanks for being there for each other. Keep being safe, and please, please, please support each other during these really hard moments. And also, thanks to MCGP, Maya Spillar, thanks to her husband Mark, also from letting me be part of that journey. Thanks to you, my baby girl Alexa, for that moment tonight. It's been so long since we've seen each other, so I'm really happy. And also, thanks to Kim Maestrado for all the gowns you've seen on the photos and the makeup and the hair, because without him, I wouldn't be dressed like that and look like that. And my family, friends, and everyone, French people, merci. Toutes les francophones qui sont là pour moi en tout temps, pour me supporter, merci beaucoup. Thank you so much, everyone.
Oh, that was perfect. Thanks, Valerie. And if you guys want to check more of MCGP, you can click on Valerie's socials, and you can also go on to the Miss Canada Globe Productions main Facebook page, and there's actually a really cool thing where you could go on filters and you can basically check out Valerie's experience. You can check out all of the other girls' experience, see what's coming up for the other girls' internationals, including Valerie's, all of those news. So you guys will be checked in on the loop for all of the MCGP related pageant content and news. All right. Thank you all so much for watching. And if you are up to the very end, thank you so much for being here. This is Alexa Gabriel.
This is Valerie Roy, Miss of Canada 2021-2022.
And we wish you all a wonderful night. Thank you all so much again. Good night, everyone.